Over the last couple of years, FHA and VA buyers have had a tough time buying a home because of multiple offers and cash buyers. But with inventory increasing and less buyers in the market, FHA and VA can not only now purchase a home without bidding wars, but they can also get credits from sellers for closing costs. And not only on new construction, but also on resales. So let's dive into the new FHA and VA loan limits and guidelines so you know how much home you can buy using an FHA and VA loan and what the credit guidelines are. And while we're at it, let's talk about how you can use an FHA and VA loan to start a real estate investment portfolio so you can begin to cash flow from rental properties. So don't go anywhere. Hi, my friends. This is the first time you've been to my channel. My name is Lee Bricky, and on this channel, we talk everything real estate. So if you're interested in buying and selling a home, buying investment real estate, or interested in living in Palm Beach County or the Treasure Coast, you're going to want to subscribe. And it's completely free, and it really helps me grow this channel. And for subscribing, here's a picture of Henry. So there is a new term out there called Renvestors, where young adults are choosing to rent a home and buy investment properties at the same time, which I will tell you I've seen happen more and more in South Florida here lately. So if you're interested in investing, stay with me to the end of this video, and I'm going to show you a hack where you can start creating a real estate rental portfolio using your FHA and VA mortgage. So with that said, let's jump into the benefits of FHA and VA mortgages. Both of these mortgages are backed by the government. And because of that, the guidelines are much more lenient to help first-time buyers and veterans purchase a home, where the guidelines for a conventional mortgage are much more restrictive. But what many buyers don't know is that FHA is not just for first-time buyers. You can use an FHA mortgage multiple times, but you can only have one FHA mortgage in your name at a time. Meaning that if you bought a home in the past with an FHA mortgage and you sold that home or refinanced it into a conventional loan, you can get another FHA mortgage. But the home must be your primary residence that you live in. But if you sell that home or refinance it into a conventional mortgage, you could buy your next home with an FHA mortgage. Now, the first benefit of an FHA mortgage is that you only need to put down 3.5% of the total sale price of the home that you're purchasing as a down payment. So if the home is $400,000, your down payment would be $14,000. On a conventional mortgage, you would have to put down at least 5%, but the less you put down, the higher the interest rate will be because of the lender taking on more risk. Also, credit and income qualifications are much more lenient with FHA, and it has a minimum credit score of 580, where conventional is 620. This goes back to the lender is taking less risk with the FHA loan than they would be with the conventional loan because it's government backed. Now, one of the downsides to FHA mortgages is the mortgage insurance. Because you are putting down less than 20%, you will have to have mortgage insurance. And this goes for conventional mortgages also. But the difference is that on the FHA mortgage, your mortgage insurance is a set amount no matter what your credit score is. But your mortgage rate will be affected by a lower credit score. For example, if you have a 580 credit score, you will have a much higher mortgage rate than you would if you have a 640 credit score. But a 640 credit score would put you at elite pricing, meaning you're getting the best rate possible. Where on a conventional mortgage, you would not reach the elite pricing unless you have over a 740 credit score. Another downside to FHA is you have to refinance out of it into a conventional mortgage to drop the mortgage insurance. But you will have to have mortgage insurance on the conventional mortgage until you have at least 20% equity in the house. So again, an FHA mortgage just makes it easier for buyers to get into a home, and down the road, you can refinance when your situation improves and you've built up enough equity in your home. Now, there is one more qualification to FHA, and that is the loan limit. It is less than a conventional loan, but they have just gone up for 2023. For Palm Beach County, your loan limit is now $557,750. And for the Treasure Coast, it's now $500,250. Now you can buy a more expensive home with an FHA mortgage, but you would have to make up the difference with cash at closing. But with that said, these new loan limits will buy you a very nice home in Port St. Lucie, and you are definitely in the market for a home in Martin County. So now let's talk about how a VA mortgage works. First, you must be a veteran of a branch of the U.S. military. And if you are, we appreciate your service, and we show it by giving 25% of our commission as closing costs as a gift to help you offset your closing costs at closing. So don't forget that I am a full-time real estate agent right here in South Florida. So if you're looking to buy or sell a home anywhere in the Treasure Coast or Palm Beach County, my contact information is right there on your screen. Send me an email or log into my home search site, and we would love to help you. So the VA mortgage works pretty much like the FHA loan does, but there is no down payment on a VA mortgage and there is no mortgage insurance. And loan limits are much higher than they are in FHA. For 2023, loan limits on a VA loan is $726,200 for a single family home, and that's anywhere. Now, keep in mind, you will have closing costs on both of these loans, and a good rule of thumb is that about 3.5% of the sale price of the home will be your closing costs. But with that said, all these incentives available with new construction and the ability for your agent to negotiate a credit for closing with a seller on a resale, you could cover some of the closing costs, if not all of it. But they need to be a strong agent, not afraid to ask for the money. Which brings me to how you can use an FHA or VA loan to purchase a home and turn that home into rental property. So here's how it works. There are two strategies. First is new construction. Now, if you're buying new construction, I would stay out of the HOAs where you can Airbnb that property, or if you end up losing a tenant or having to evict the tenant before the lease is up, you will be able to rent that property again without any issues. Because most HOAs will not let you rent a property more than one time a year in the HOA, unless it's one of these condos where they're Airbnb in the condos or using them as rental properties. A lot of the condos allow you to rent more than one time a year, but on single family homes, that's not the issue usually. But with the condo, you will not be able to use an FHA or VA loan to purchase a condo, and that's just because of the guidelines set up. But let's get back to new construction. The benefit to purchasing new construction right now is all these builders are offering big incentives. So FHA, you would have your 3.5% down, and then the incentives would cover most, if not all, of the closing costs. And if you're VA, you could purchase the home without having any money down and to pay in any closing costs. So you'd buy it for zero money down. The next option would to be buy a resale that needs upgrading and ask for a seller credit to cover the closing costs. This option, though, takes patience and you need to know what you're getting into so you don't end up upside down after upgrades. The point to buying a fixer-upper is to have enough equity in the home after you upgrade it so that you are not upside down, because in both of these cases, you're going to end up refinancing into a conventional mortgage and rent it. So the more equity you have at the time of refinancing, the better the rate will be. The key here is to at least break even on the rent, because in this example, your main goal is to build equity. But if the mortgage is low enough, you could see some profit. And if you're buying new construction, you don't want to buy the most expensive home. You want to stick with starter homes because they are your best bet again for covering the mortgage with the rent down the road. Also, you want to make sure you're buying in a growing market like a Port St. Lucie market where you're going to see the most equity year over year. Also, some of the growing cities around Orlando are also great places to purchase a home to turn it into rental property down the road, because these areas are growing very, very quickly, just like Port St. Lucie is. So once you purchase the home with your FHA or VA loan, you're going to need to stay in that home for at least 1 year. Then you can refinance it into a conventional loan and find a solid tenant so you're not having your property destroyed or you're having to evict them. Then you can use your VA or FHA loan again to buy another property. This is a great way where you can start investing in real estate and you can do it with little or no cash down. But leave a comment below if you have any questions or concerns on anything I've talked about in this video. And if you have used your VA or FHA loan to buy a home, then turn it into rental property, leave a comment and tell us how you did it. I answer all your questions and I enjoy hearing from you. And if you like this video, please like this video, give it a thumbs up. I really appreciate it and it lets me know I'm doing a good job for you. And you can watch the next video on what's happening right now in the real estate market in South Florida right there. Be kind to each other. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.